They're a symbol that instills a sense of Britishness and national pride. For over a century, black cabs have travelled millions of miles, taking people to their destinations. There are an estimated 25,000 currently operating in the capital. But things are not well for the humble cab.
We never went looking for this fight. We're not a group of militants. But I'll say to you now that as a trade, all we've done is talked and talked and talked. We've had no other alternative but to take this fight to the streets. No retreat, no surrender.
In February this year, 8,000 cabs from across the UK filled the street of Whitehall in central London, gathering around number 10 Downing Street. They were there to protest the regulations that govern them. Regulations, they say, are not controlling the market fairly. The cabbies rallied behind passionate activist Trevor Merrills.
We've had two-tier taxi system. Acne carriage is the black cab. You can stand in the street and put your hand out and flag it down, and you've also then had what they call private hire, minicabs that you pre-book. But there's now become a third tier. There's a new kid on the block that pays absolutely no tax in this country. They are registered in Holland as a transport company, and they're registered in Britain as a tech company. They're offering nothing. They're being bankrolled to put everyone else out of business, and when they put everyone else out of business, you have left with a monopoly. So this is not about competition, because we have no fear of competition whatsoever, as long as it's fair competition.
Uber and the technology it uses has been challenging regulation categories since the service began in London in 2012. In legal attempts to clarify the rules, regulators have found in favour of the operator twice, most recently in 2015. The agitation is not unique to the UK. Drivers in cities across the world have protested against the service. Other people have chosen to fight the battle in a different way. Artemis Mercer is the wife of a black cab driver.
We're here to raise awareness about the fundraising we're campaigning for a judicial review to take TfL to court because they acted unlawfully when they gave Uber London an operator's licence. So we've got a campaign running by Action for Cabbies, and we're crowdfunding. We need to reach 600,000 target before the campaign closes in 14th of March, and that money will go to the solicitors and the QC.
Back at home, Artemis attends to her other responsibilities as a self-employed caterer and a mother. At what point did you sort of say enough is enough? Was there a particular moment for you when you started?
Yeah, there was actually. My husband was just so, it was getting depressed basically. He was really finding it difficult to go out to work every day and just watch what was going on the street, minicabs picking up, applying for hire when you'd studied for 4 years to be able to do that. Sitting on a rank, for hours on end, watching minicab after minicab coming and going. And he just said to me one night, I used to be really proud to be a London cabbie, but I'm not anymore. And that really was a defining moment for me. With regard to Uber, it's not them, it could be anyone, okay? It's Transport for London issuing unlimited PHV licences every week.
Transport for London declined an interview. In a statement, it said,
"We are legally obliged to grant a private hire operator licence to any applicant that satisfies the licensing criteria. Uber is licensed as a private hire operator because they meet these requirements."
Uber originated in Silicon Valley in the US. Its legal status varies across the world. In the UK, it is licensed as a private hire operator.
I think what Uber has done is introduce quite a new model, and any new change into an industry that hasn't seen a lot of sort of disruption, if you like, is can be met with a bit of opposition. If somebody were concerned about the level of pre-checks that are done, I would absolutely say that there's misinformation out there. Uber is regulated in exactly the same way as all other private hire operators in the UK. Every single driver has gone through an enhanced DBS check, and every single driver has a private hire licence issued by Transport for London.
Uber has well over 1.5 million active users each week in the UK. Its rapid growth is likely due in part to the service offering cheaper transport than traditional black cabs.
We have a smartphone app that you can use to request a car. That sends a request to the nearest available online Uber driver. The driver gets to see where the request is coming from. They see the location, the first name of the passenger. They can tap the device to accept and navigate and come and pick you up. We firmly believe that there's a place for black cabs and for private hire and indeed Uber. We really think that absolutely is the case, and we want to coexist.
Gary Hall has spent the last 18 months researching the impact of what he terms Uber capitalism in the UK.
What they're doing is they're inserting themselves as an intermediary, so the intermediary between the customer and the workers. Now, Uber is a particularly good example because they don't regard their workers as, they don't have contracts. They're kind of freelance. What that means is that companies such as Uber that work on this kind of Uber capitalism model that I'm talking about is they don't have to pay them pensions, they don't have to pay them healthcare, they're not paying them holidays, so it means that they're even more of a profitable business. They're very keen on not paying as much tax as your local taxi firm would do. And so what that means is that government or public institutions have less money to try and come up with, if you like, more public centred alternative to that.
Technology moves at a relentless pace. Inevitably, some will be left behind by the changes that new innovations bring. But until regulations are brought more in line with what cab drivers consider to be fair, the battle being waged on London streets shows little sign of letting up.